Alright, so we're ready to get started?
Yep.
First thing we need to do is we need to roll, see who will be the first player.
One or
So
two.
just roll one dice. You've won the roll-off. You get the choice to be the first player. If you're the first player, you will have the first turn. You will deploy your army first. Now we don't have any terrain here, so normally the second player would get to pick table side. But we don't have any scenery, so that's kind of a moot point. So would you like to go first or second?
I'll go second.
You will go second. So, David, you will deploy first.
Okay.
Now, normally in Warmachine, you will have a scenario, and the scenario will tell you what the deployment zones are.
Right.
They're very standardized. They're usually 7 and 10. But since we don't actually have a scenario, we're just going to kill each other. We're just going to do a standard 12-inch deployment zone.
Okay.
So you have to place your entire army within 12 inches of your table edge.
Okay.
You do have a unit of Bane Thralls.
Okay.
As per the rules, they all have to be in the command range of the leader, which is called in formation. So I believe the Bane Thrall leader is command 8.
Mm-hmm.
So all of his buddies have to be within 8 inches of him.
Okie dokie. So 12 inches?
12-inch deployment zone. Your unit of Bane Thralls must all be in command range of the leader, who I believe is a command stat of 8.
Okay.
Being in range of that leader is called in formation. You're free to leave it during the game,
Right.
but if you leave the formation, that guy cannot attack or do anything,
Okay.
and he can't be targeted by friendly spells that affect his unit.
So I'm going to place a little token there. A little token there to give my deployment zone. And the jacks have to be within a certain range of my caster, right?
They do not.
Or do not.
However, they're only going to be effective if they're within her control range.
Which her control range
It
is.
is twice your focus stat. Her focus stat is 7.
Okay.
So long as they're
14
within
inches.
14 inches of her, they'll be functional.
Okay. Alright. And you said that the Bane Thralls need to be within.
They have to deploy in formation with their leader, which
Okay,
means
with leader.
every model in the unit has to be within the command range of the leader model.
Right, gotcha.
That being the leader model.
That guy.
Who ran away.
I just talked to him on
He's
the
done.
ground.
Who didn't know undead were cowards?
You know what? You're no longer the leader. I challenge for leadership of this group.
Now, none of this is stuck in those ranges during the game. You're free to leave it. There will
Right.
just be penalties for doing so.
Okay.
The Warjacks are not going to be able to get focus, which is a big deal for them, which
Right.
means they can't do things like run and charge. The Bane Thralls, when they're out of formation, cannot make attacks, and any orders the unit receives, they don't get.
Okay.
So they won't be able to charge, they won't be able to make attacks, they won't be able to run or do cool things.
Okay. Well,
Are you all deployed?
yes.
Okay, over to you for deployment. While they're going, to those people watching, is a quick summary of what we have here. We have Banewitch Agathea. She's kind of a support bot. She has very little combat capability in and of herself. She relies on making her army do cool things. We have a Slayer. This is the default crits melee heavy. It's the thing that's going to go out and beat something to death. We have a Death Ripper. Death Rippers have an ability, have a stat, they are an arc node. The cool thing about an arc node is whenever a caster casts a spell, they can cast it from themselves towards their target, or they can measure range from any arc node in their control range. So this arc node can be way over here and allow her to affect spells on the other end of the table. We have a Reaper, which is a Crick's ranged jack. It doesn't really shoot things to death, it kind of drags them into beat it to death. And then we have Bane Thralls, which are one of the harder hitting infantry units in the game. On the Signar side, we have an Ironclad, which is Signar's generic melee heavy. It's their answer to the Slayer. We have a Firefly. Firefly is a ranged jack. It is a light. It has a gun that jumps to nearby models. We have a Lancer, which is also an arc node for Signar. Beth Maddox, she relies on buffing her guys and making them more powerful also. So these both casters kind of serve the same purpose. The difference is Banewitch Agathea is going to debuff her opponent, whereas Maddox is going to buff her own guys. So your spells are going to mostly target your models. Her main spells are going to target opposing models. And then we have a unit of Storm Guard, which are a 2-inch melee range infantry unit, which means they can charge fairly far. They're really good at shredding light infantry formations. And they have some fairly good defensive stats when they get charged.
Okay.
So are we all deployed?
Yes.
Okay, so we're ready to start the game. Both of your warcasters get their focus stat in focus. So Maddox is 6, Bainwitch Agathea is 7.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull
You're gonna pull 7 tokens.
7 tokens out.
And that's all the focus you have to spend and hand out this turn.
Okay.
At the start of your next turn, whatever you're missing, you'll refill back up to 7.
Okay.
So, ready to go?
Yes.
You have first turn.
Okay.
So, first step is the maintenance phase. This is a phase that only exists if an effect says it resolves in the maintenance phase. You don't have to worry about it if you don't. Nothing else happens here.
Right.
Then we have the control phase. This is where you're going to hand out focus, you're going to pay to keep spells in play and do all of that.
Okay.
So you have all your focus, so there's no need to get any focus back. That's step 1. Step 2 is you can hand focus out to your warjacks. Now all warjacks, if they're in your controller's control range, get a free focus at the start of the turn.
Okay.
Which they are. So they're going to get 1 free focus to start with.
Not from the pool.
Not from the pool. This is called power up.
Okay.
Now if Bainwitch Agathea would like, she can hand out additional focus. Now in general you don't usually see that happen on the first turn.
On the first turn.
Because most of the time people are running into position.
Okay.
Because if you look at weapon ranges in War Machine, you'll see they're actually fairly short. The longest range gun in the game is 20 inches, and
Okay.
there's 1.
Okay.
The average range is about 10 to 12.
Okay.
So you're a long way away from being able to shoot something.
Right. Okay. So
there's no allocations here. There's no spells to keep in play. There's no other effects that resolve in the control phase. So as soon as you're ready to go, you can begin activating models.
okay. All right. So I'd like to point out that we're using, instead of using the cards right now, we're using the War Room 2 app because it's an easier way to score things because you don't have to mark on your
It's
cards
an
or on a
official app.
sleeve.
It also does damage tracking, army construction, army validation. In addition to providing the rules on your device, the rules are available for free. The damage tracking, the models, the army construction, and all that is not.
Right. So, but the 2-player battle box that we're using is included with the app, and then so we're going to use that for that. Okay. All right.
Alright, so who would you like to activate first?
So I first would like to activate my Reaper. Yeah. So his speed is 6,
His speed is 6, so he can move and shoot, he can move and make melee attacks,
or he
he
can
could charge, or he could run. If
run.
he charges or runs, that requires focus.
Right. So,
And I think his gun is like range 8.
does it double the speed when you run?
When you run it, it's double your speed.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and run my Reaper up. Is it from front of the base?
It is from front of the base to front of the base.
Okay. Since we're not playing,
And then this is spent because you spent
Yeah.
that to run.
and the Death Ripper is a speed 7.
They're pretty fast.
Yeah. Little monsters.
Just kind of notes for people who are watching about these factions. The Crix faction is very fragile. Their units tend to rely on a horde mentality. They operate under the assumption that half their guys aren't going to get there. So Crix models man for man hit harder than most guys, but fall over to a stiff breeze.
Right.
Their warjacks have a higher than average defense stat, but a lower than average armor stat, and have a couple less hit points than most other equivalent warjacks. So once you start beating on a Crix jack, it tends to die fairly quickly, or become rendered inert really quickly. Okay, so Agathea is running,
Right.
so she can run. If she runs, she can't do anything else.
Right.
You can also advance, attack, cast spells, do anything like that. She does not spend a focus to run.
She doesn't spend a focus to run. Is there anything that she can cast on the Warjacks or?
Well, let's look at her spell list real fast.
So
She has Ghost Walk. Target friendly faction model unit gains Ghostly for 1 turn. What that means is you can move through terrain with no penalty.
Right.
Also in Warmachine there are attacks of opportunity called Free Strikes. They ignore that when they're ghostly, so nothing especially interesting there. Hellfire is an attacking spell. Hellrot, which you might consider a spell.
Right.
Target Warjack in the spellcaster's battle group gain +2 armed and retaliation. Retaliation is if it's damaged by an attack, it gets a free move and an attack.
okay. So
Now, it's range 6, so you can move and cast
it has an upkeep cost, so that means it can be refreshed.
You can keep it in play at the start of your turn. Now, because you do have an arc node, you can cast it through this little guy.
Okay.
So she doesn't actually have to be within 6 inches of what she's casting it on.
Okay. I don't want to go too deep into that stuff, but so you said since he's considered an arc node.
He is an arc node, and the way we can tell that is if you look at his stat card,
Mm-hmm.
go to the actual card,
Okay.
click on his portrait.
Come on. There we go.
Okay. Now, those of you at home, there's this little Tesla coil symbol.
Ah.
That means he's an arc node. You can also see it because he has an A on his damage grade.
Okay.
What he is whenever he's in your control range,
Mm-hmm.
you can cast spells as if he was where you were.
Ah.
So you can measure all your ranges in line of sight from him, or Agathea, or both.
Okay.
You can jump back and forth.
All right.
It's a range extender.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and so if I cast Hellrot on him, or do I just cast it
You
on
can cast it through him.
through him?
So you can put it on any of these 3.
All right. So,
You can always target yourself with a spell. That's one.
but I can move and cast as many
You can
spells
move and
as I
cast a
have
spell.
focus.
Yep.
Right.
Now Hellrot is an upkeep. You can only have it in play
Right.
1 time.
Okay, so I can only
But
have
you
it on
can't
one dude.
run and do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you only have it on one guy.
On one guy. So
One
she
more
can
attack.
move, which is called an advance.
So we're gonna move, and then we're going to pay 2 to cast
Hellrot.
Hellrot on
Melee guy or shooty guy?
on the melee guy.
On the melee guy. So we're going to put a token next to him to note that's in play.
Yep.
And she now has 5 focus left. At the start of her turn, she'll get 2 back,
Right.
not 7.
Not 7. Correct.
And then whenever she's done, she's done.
All right, and then the thralls.
So they're a unit, so they're all going to go together.
Okay.
They're all going to move, and then they're all going to attack.
Okay.
If they're going to run, they have to receive an order called press forward.
Mhm.
You just say it happens.
Okay.
It is actually not listed on their card.
Okay. All right, so they have a speed of 5.
They're speed 5, so they're going to get the press forward order.
Okay, so just to to clarify, how does that?
So orders are a mechanic in Warmachine that exists to make it so you can't do a million things at a time.
Okay.
Every unit knows the press forward order. The press forward order is your commander gives it. There's no dice rolls involved or anything like that. Everybody in formation can run or charge that activation.
Okay.
They cannot run or charge normally. They have to receive the order to do it.
Okay.
Now, nobody else in here has any other orders, so that's not really that important. But there are some units that have their own special orders,
All right.
and it makes it so those are
And you
exclusive.
can only do one order.
You only do one order, and it's the first thing you do when you start activating.
Okay.
So before any guy moves,
Is that one order per unit?
per unit.
Okay.
The only guy who can give orders is the leader.
The leader. Okay. So we're gonna get the press forward order.
So every guy is now eligible to run or charge.
Right. So we're gonna run.
This is a fairly typical first turn for Warmachine. There's a lot of running into position going on.
Hey, face the right way. I know you don't have a head, but it's no excuse.
And a lot of that is due to the ranges of weapons and spells and charges. It is actually possible in some cases to charge into combat further than most guys can shoot.
I am currently filming the assembly video for these guys, so some of them don't have heads, and I just realized that guy doesn't have arms or a weapon.
So they ran. They can't make attacks or anything
ran.
like that. They're done.
Yeah.
Every model in your army has activated.
Yep.
So your turn is now done, and it passes over to Judge.
Alright.
So Signar player's turn. Maddox starts with 6 focus.
Yes.
All the warjacks start with a focus because they're in her control range.
Yes.
So where would you like to start?
I'm gonna cast.
Well, first question, would you like to allocate any focus?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna activate
Maddox. Okay. And what is she going to do?
Just gonna cast some magic.
She's going to cast some magic.
Yes. We're gonna give Dauntless Resolve, casting through my Lancer,
Onto
to
them.
my Storm Guards.
Okay, so that's cost 2.
Yep. I'm gonna give it a little push up to the lead. Then we're gonna give Snipe to my electric guy there, my Firefly. And then we're going to give
A sail.
a sail to my meat stick beater.
Okay. And then what would Maddox like? She can still move, she can still attack. So
Maddox is going to advance some.
the only thing she can't do at this point is run because she casts spells. So you'll notice you start the movement, do the movement, turn, and then keep moving. That's how movement works in Warmachine. You only move forward. You can't curve. You move, pivot, move, pivot.
Alright, then I'm going to be done with Maddox.
Maddox is done.
And we're going to activate my Firefly.
Okay. What would the Firefly like to do?
The Firefly would like to test his now 14 attack range. And
Just a little bit short.
So we're going to move
Just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Shimmy a little bit forward.
An inch forward.
Okay. Range 14. So I take it he's going to want to make attacks.
Yes,
He's going to use his range attacks or melee attacks.
his range attacks.
Okay. He has one ranged weapon, so he gets to attack with that one weapon. He can shoot any model that's in range. Actually, that's wrong. He can shoot any model that is in his line of sight, which is out of his front arc. There's a few other rules for intervening models. I say the out of range because you can actually shoot at targets out of range. It's really useful with area of effect attacks. You can also shoot friendly models.
I am going to attack the dog.
Attack the Death Ripper. Okay.
Yes, and I'm going to spend a focus to add a die to the attack.
So normally he'd roll 2 dice to hit. Don't roll the other die. Don't roll the red one. You're not rolling damage yet. Normally it's 2 dice to hit. He's spending a focus to roll a 3rd dice. The reason why is the Firefly has a rat of 6. The Death Ripper has a defensive of 14. That means he's an 8 to hit.
Right.
That is in fact a better than an 8.
Yes.
You roll a 15 plus 6, your total's a 21. That handily beats the Death Ripper's defense of 21 of 14.
Alright.
So now we get to roll for damage on the Death Ripper. This is 2 dice. The 3rd dice, which is going to be a different color, is going to tell us what location it's on. They rolled a 17. So we're going to mark damage, and may I show off?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to mark damage on the Death Ripper. I've already hit a damage point on him by accident. So, Death Ripper is armor 14. He rolled a 17, so it's going to do 3 points of damage
Right.
to column number 4. So starting in column 4, we're going to start at the top and mark 3 points out.
Okay.
Once that column is full, you're going to move to the next one to the right.
Okay.
If column 6 fills, you loop back around to column 1. Now, you'll notice some letters on there.
Yes.
Those indicate what are called systems. If all of the letters for a system are filled up, it's going to disable that system. It doesn't mean you can't use it, it just means it's going to be dramatically less effective.
Okay.
And we'll bring those up as they need to. Okay, so the Death Ripper has been damaged.
Yes.
However, we are not finished, because the Firefly has a special ability called Lightning Generator.
Yes.
Whenever it hits an enemy model, after the attack is resolved, you're going to roll a d3. 1. It is going to jump to the one nearest enemy models, which in this case is the Reaper. So the Reaper is going to take a power 10 damage roll. That's what the ability says. We roll a 17 again. What is the Reaper's armor?
The Reaper's armor is 17.
So
Well, yeah.
no damage is dealt because we did not exceed the armor.
Yep.
Now, he could have saved the focus to boost damage on the Death Ripper and roll 3 dice for damage.
Yes.
The Lightning Generator rule says the jumps are not boostable. So, Firefly's done.
Yes.
Where to next?
Let's look at my Lancer do.
So he's got a lot of melee weapons.
Yes. Nothing in range, so cautiously advance.
Okay, Lancer didn't run or charge, so he did spend the focus. Lancer's done moving,
Yes.
so he's not eligible to make melee or ranged attacks. He has no ranged attacks, so there's nothing to do. On to Mr. Ironclad.
No, I killed him.
Same thing as the Lancer. He has no ranged attacks, he didn't run or charge, so that focus isn't going to go anywhere.
Alright. Now I got all these guys.
Now you got them. So the first thing when you activate them, do you want to issue an order? The only order you have access to is called Press Forward, which lets you run and charge.
Yes. I have a question about
Yes.
the Lancer. I guess I should have asked it while I was still doing Lancer. His set defense.
So a model, okay, so a model with a model in this model's front arc suffers -2 on charge, slam, power attack, and impact attack rolls against this model.
Okay.
So if you get charged and your target's in the front, their attack is at -2, which is really good.
Yeah.
Alright, especially considering the Lancer has a defense of 13, which makes him effectively defense 15.
Alright.
Doesn't really add to his defense, but
I guess we're gonna press forward with
gonna
these
press
guys.
forward. They are a speed of 5, so they can run 10 inches, or they can charge 8 and attack 2.
Hey, you. Line that up with his front. Inch back. So keep it basically the same formation.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to measure the 8 from the leader to make sure he's in command. He's always in formation with himself, he just wants to make sure he knows. So, the Stormguard are done, they have nothing else to do.
Yep.
So the Signar turn is over.
Yep.
On to the Crick's turn.
Shot your dog.
Alright, so Crick's turn starts. First off, any focus on any Warjack is removed. There aren't any.
There aren't any.
Agathea refills up to 7 focus if she does not already have 7.
Okay.
Each Warjack receives a free focus because they're in her control range.
Yep. Alright, so we got that.
So, first thing he has to do is make a decision. Are we going to keep Hellrod in play?
Yes.
If we do, we're going to spend 1 focus and he gets to stay and play on that model.
We'll say upkeep was 2, I thought.
Nope, upkeep is always 1. The casting cost is 2.
Okay.
Whenever you upkeep a spell, it is always 1.
Alright, that's good to know.
Now, would Agathea like to hand any focus out?
She's going to... Well, it doesn't have she would. Yeah, she was gonna give. She's gonna give an extra focus to each one of them.
Okay. Now, it is noting that warjacks are capped at 3 focus at any time.
Yes.
So they can take up to 2 more.
Okay.
It is possible to refill them during the turn in some cases, which is why that cap is important.
Okay.
So are we done handing out focus?
Yes.
Okay, so we're on to activations. Where would you like to begin?
So activation. So only one of them can have the Hell Rod. Is that right?
Only one of them can have Hellrot. If you recast Hellrot, the first one will disappear, and the new one will go into play.
All right. Gonna do a little bit of measuring here. What's the distance between?
It's like about 12.
About 12. And
About 12 again.
okay. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and activate Agathea. And I'm gonna go ahead and move her. And she's got a speed of 6, and she's just gonna move her normal speed. Now, actually to about right there.
Okay.
Okay. And then she is going to.
So she didn't run. She can cast spells.
Right.
She's fully functional. Running is about the only thing that prevents your caster from doing something.
Right. Okay, so she's gonna just hang out there. So I'm done with her. Not a whole lot I can do with her at this current junction. Because I can't cast another, well I can, but the Hell Rod doesn't make a difference.
Cast another Hellrot's not a terribly good idea, right?
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and activate the Slayer. And the Slayer is going.
So you can charge, you can move an attack, or you can run. If you run, you aren't going to do anything else.
Actually, I don't want to move it. I'm going to activate the
Reaper.
Okay. These are new to me. So.
You're fine.
Alright, so the Reaper is going to move. Nope. Wrong again. Alright, I'm going to activate the Slayer. There's a reason I'm doing this tonight.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter which way I do it.
It's okay. You're flustered because I shot your dog.
Yes. I'm John Wicking it right now. Alright, so I'm going to activate.
You want me to say something cool? You could win the game right here if you wanted to. Carry on.
I mean, he could.
I could. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move. That's 4 inches of my thing. So I still have 2 more left. So I'm going to move him there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to. Because once the Warcaster dies, the game is over.
You win on the spot.
So
go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use Harpoon.
Okay.
On your Warcaster.
Okay. Her defense is 15.
It has an 8-inch range, which we're
Easily.
well within.
You have a rat score of 5?
Of 5.
Okay.
And the POW is 12. Okay, so rat score is 5.
Okay.
And so that means
You're going to have to roll 10 to hit.
I'm going to use one of this focus to get an extra die for the hit.
Okay. So let's roll a hit. We rolled a 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. You have exceeded Maddox's defense. So
Yes.
you hit her with the attack.
Okay. And
Now we roll for damage.
you can only choose one or the other, right?
No, if you
can
have
do
enough
focus,
focus,
as long as you got focus.
you cannot spend multiple focus on the same
Same
roll.
roll.
Yep.
You can boost the attack and you can boost the damage.
Alright, so I'm boosting the damage.
Okay. So what's the power?
The power is 12.
12 plus 14 is a 26. What is Maddox's armor?
16.
She just took 10 points of damage.
Alright.
So, let me show this over real fast. Maddox does not have a damage grid. Only Warjacks and Warbeasts have damage grids. So she just takes 10 points of damage. Unfortunately, we are not done yet.
Right, so
So the Reaper has a rule called drag.
right, when this weapon damages an enemy model with an equal or smaller base, immediately after the attack is resolved, this damaged model can be pushed directly towards this model until it contacts a model, an obstacle, or an obstruction. After the damaged model is moved, this model can make one basic melee attack against the damaged model.
So she just got drug in.
Alright.
Now the Reaper can make an attack.
He has no more.
You have no more focus.
No more pump.
He is Mat 6 or 7? He's a
It's
7.
Mat 7. No.
Plus a 3 is a 10. Maddox's defense is a 15. Maddox is fine. Maddox is not happy about this, but Maddox is going to Where to next?
Alright, so we're going to move to the Slayer.
Alright.
And the Slayer's movement is
6.
6. Which means we can get there.
Mhm.
So he's going to move forward.
Okay. What would
Yeah.
the Slayer like to do next?
The Slayer would like to attack.
Okay. So the Slayer has 3 melee weapons, because Slayers. The Slayer also has an ability on the back of his card.
So, oh, he has a ability on the back of his card.
Yes, he does. It shows up in Worm.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
So, the Death Claw or the Combo Strike.
Combo Strike.
So you make a melee attack. Instead of making a normal damage roll, the power of the damage roll is equal to this model's strength plus twice the power of this weapon.
Mm-hmm. Now, what this is, if we hop over to the back of the Slayer's card, notice this has a Combo Strike star attack next to it. A star attack or a star action takes up your entire action or attack.
Okay.
So if you do a Combo Strike, you don't get to attack with your other weapons for free.
Right.
You can still purchase attacks with focus, but you don't just get to do it.
Okay.
If you don't, you can attack her with all 3 weapons for free.
Okay.
So up to you.
Alright.
So, Slayer has moved up. He's going to make attacks. Would he like to do his Combo Strike attack?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a star attack. So normally the Slayer has 3 melee weapons. It can attack with all 3 melee weapons. Because you're doing a star attack, you're just going to attack with the 1.
Right.
You can still make additional attacks if you spend the focus, but you don't get to make any more for free.
Okay.
So you're going to do attack. Would you like to boost the attack roll?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to spend a focus for that.
And, okay.
Slayer is Mat 7.
It hits.
It hits 21. Maddox's defense is a 15. So, the Slayer, because of Combo Strike, that's not a Slayer. Normally, the Death Claw's power is 16,
Right.
but it says add the power of the weapon twice. The
Okay.
weapon is actually power 6. The Slayer is strength 6
Right.
10. Melee damage is strength plus power. So you get to add it twice here. Apologies. So she's a 22 damage. Plus
Okay.
your 2d6.
So your strength. Okay, yeah, plus power twice.
Plus the power twice. So it's 16 plus 6.
Yeah.
Would you like to boost the damage?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to boost the damage.
Remember?
We don't roll a column because she's not a warjack.
She's not a warjack. Remember you tried to kill my dog?
And now I'm going to deflate them. The dice roll doesn't actually matter because the minimum damage is 6, and she's only got 6 hit points left.
It does matter if I fail, right?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it's a minimum of 6.
So you're at 22. Her armor is a 16.
Ah,
Even if you roll snake eyes, you get 8 damage.
there you go.
And she falls over. She dies. And Signar loses.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
How to prevent this?
exactly.
She just sits anywhere that behind somebody. There is no reason for Maddox to be there.
Right.
Now, you may look at this and say, "Oh, well, that was kind of a boring game. Nothing happened." Welcome to learner games. When you
I shot a dog.
when you have a sudden death mechanic, that's kind of what happens. It's like chess.
Right.
How many chess games? How many of your first chess games are actually interesting?
Exactly.
Because like, oh, I will add a checkmate, I just lose.
Yeah. So basically, right
We're
now.
gonna play a real one next.
Exactly. So right now we have.
He ain't killing mine.
Right now we have an open field. There's no terrain. There's no obstacles. There's nothing to get around. We just wanted to show how the basic turn structure works and everything, but also a lesson was learned in positioning in these matches too, which helps if you kind of know what your opponent is playing.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
You have access to your opponent's rules. You're welcome to look at them at any time. The great thing about Warmachine is that the rules, there's no unexpected consequences. It's not like this happens and this happens, so this third completely unrelated thing happens.
Right.
All the rules are direct consequences of each other. You can read the rules and say, oh, well, the Reaper can drag her in and there's nothing in the way. Well, of course he's going to beat her to death. That's open information. It's not
Right.
hidden, it's not buried, it's not like, well, you got to read the rules a specific way. It's pretty obvious.
We're going to have a...
You may not appreciate the magnitude of the impact, but you can appreciate that it exists.
Okay, how many Reapers can I have? Because I want to be like, get over here, get over here, get over here, Mortal Kombat
So what
style.
you could have done, if she was there, and what I thought you were going to go for, drag him in,
Yeah,
beat him to death. He's gone.
yeah,
Good luck.
yeah.
I also thought you were going to just run him around and get a parasite on him or her.
Yeah.
Take 3 points of armor off, makes it a more efficient kill.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool...
And I wouldn't have given the second one here, I would have topped him off.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool options in the game. But the one thing that I think we demonstrated too is, like we talked about earlier in the video, before we went through the basics of the game, before Nick went through the basics of the game, is that this game is not for the people who want to hang back and do nothing. You really need to get in there, get busy, and...
That doesn't mean stick your neck into the lion's mouth.
No.
I would also like to point out one thing we mentioned earlier. I said earlier that Warmachine is a game that, yes, your opponent's stuff can be like, oh, I'm overrunning you. You also can make decisions that impact that. 2 inches, and she lives.
Exactly.
You made the decision to put her there. It wasn't his stuff just murders the world. Maddox was placed in a bad position.
Yeah.
Now, you're learning. Obviously, you aren't going to see that. I looked at it and said, yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen. I wouldn't have gone for Maddox, personally. Not because it's a demo game, but because if you miss the 10 to hit,
Yeah.
which is only about a 55% chance, the entire plan's out the window.
Yeah.
I'd have gone for the Ironclad. That's just me.
Okay. So that was just, you could see the turn structure, deployment, how the turns go. Now, we're going to go ahead and end this video as kind of our how-to, but we're going to have another game where Josh and Nick are going to play. Josh is going to bring his Grimkin in.
I'm going to bring the Grimkin.
Right. Sorry, Nick is going to bring
He's
his
going to play
Grimkin
this
in,
army,
and he's going to play...
and then we're going to add another unit that
Yeah,
he
so
has.
we're going to build it up a little bit and play, but this is going to be a separate video from our Escalation series. It's going to be a fun play with friends type of video. So thank you all so much for watching. Remember to check us out. We do have our Facebook at facebook.com/whatgamenow. Twitter, because someone decided to take it for some other reason. It's Twitter is at what at What Game Now Live. And our Instagram is at What Game Now, and we'll put those in the description of the video. But please remember to subscribe, like, share. It's important that you share and let other people know that we're out there.
And if you have any questions, please ask.
Yep. If you have any questions, ask in the comments. If you have any,
They'll get it back to me.
Yep. If you have any suggestions for a game that you want us to play, or something that you want us to show, or let us know, and we'll see if we can't put it together. So thank you so much for watching, and keep asking the question, what game now? Hey, this is Dave. If you like what we're doing here at What Game Now, go ahead and click on one of the videos, which should be on either side of me, or click right in the middle and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the bell once you subscribe so that you know when we have new videos. Please go ahead and share us with your friends. Let everybody know that we're here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all of our subscribers already. And we look forward to bringing you more content every chance that we get.